to short block, cast iron, decked, 20 thou overbore on it, and it's yeah, it's heavy. Yeah, oh yeah, oh it's heavy. Oh. No, I'm just lifting it up on the pad there. It slides around quite easily. There's the front end of it. You can just about see the cam bearings installed. What am I pointing at? Oh yeah, that little knob. There's a knob there. There's another knob there. We'll talk about that a bit later. So this is the short block. It's relatively clean. It could be cleaner, but it's still yeah, still heavy. Just putting it up on the top end there. You can see all the cam bearings have been put in. We've got all of the water freeze plugs in, and I'm pointing at the engine block number. We'll talk about that in a minute. So here's another look at the block. If we look in the lifter valleys, there is actually an imprint there which gives you a bit more of a clue about the two knobs on the front. It does say made in Mexico. We can also look at the actual engine number, which will be coming up in a second. That's on the side of the block, and there it is. And if you want to look it up in a book, you can. I have. So now I'm fitting the bearing caps. There's bearing cap number 1. See, I just pointed at it then, and then put the bolts in again. Make sure the bolts are the same as they came out. 2, 3 and 4 are going in. Number 5 has got the seal on the back end. And now you can see a spanner at work with, there it is, the socket wrench. So I'm doing them up fairly tight. They are bedded down, but they don't need to be too tight. I just want to get the engine into the chassis to see what the fit's like. So just tightening them up, and the reason I was, oh, there, yep, dropped it. Yeah, I dropped it. Yep, tried to speed that up and hide it, but it didn't work. So do all the caps up, and what's next? Oh yeah, plastic bag. What's in the plastic bag? What plastic bag? There's a plastic bag. Where is it? Where is it? Come on, hurry up. Oh, plastic. There it is. Yep, it was the oil pump. Oil pump with a special pickup specific for that pan. The oil pan, that is. We'll have a look at that in a second. Which way around does it go? Is it that way? I think so. Yep, it is. Right, so we'll just again bolt that in just hand tight. We want to. The reason I'm putting it in there is so that I don't lose it. So I know exactly where it is. It's staying in the engine where it should be. It will get cleaned, and that's an old pump. I'll probably be getting a new Melling pump put in there. Hurry up, Watson. Oh, and yeah, spanner's at work. Oh, look out, he's got glasses on now. That's what 40 years of playing games does to you. Anywho, just tightening it up and just making sure it's all sitting correctly. Yep, getting bored now. Come on. Hooray! Yep. Is it straight? Oh, just move it around a bit and just nip it up. Job's a good one. This is the Avid oil sump. It's got baffles inside there. Yep, they still move. Let's put it on. Oh, I'm putting the oil pump on again. I moved the camera angle just so you could see it a little better. I've also got rid of my speakers, so I'm not playing music now when I'm doing that. You'll have seen that in the first clip. So just hand tightening that one up. No gasket on there. Oh, I've knocked the camera, yep, and it's still heavy, yep. So the oil pickup goes on. That sits inside the little area where the baffles are in the bottom of the sump. The engine's upside down at the moment. Rubber gaskets, they're going on, and then you just slide the sump over the top, and then it's just a matter of putting all the bolts on. That's the reason why I speeded it up. Lots of nut action coming up, not what you think. So this is the front timing cover. Oh, giving it a clean bit of WD. Now it's an old cover that I've got. If you look on the bottom there, you can see where the bolt holes for the sump go on. Also at the bottom is the seal for the crankshaft. I've got a replacement for that, but there's no crankshaft in there, so I'm just leaving it there. There's a tiny little bit of surface rust on the actual mating surfaces. Hardly noticeable really, so I've got some P800 wet and dry paper, a little bit of WD, and just very lightly just move it off. It's more lapping than sanding, if you will, but it gets the job done as long as you just take your time with it. That elbow on that coat needs replacing. I'm quite famous for wearing the particular Mike Delaney Le Mans jacket. This is actually an old one. It's been relegated to my shed jacket, the one I wear to work. It hasn't got a hole in the elbow, and that's from leaning on desks, but that's another story. So just cleaning it up there, and just clearing away some of the excess WD-40. You shouldn't use this type of paper or paper cloth to actually clean an engine when you're ready to assemble it, as all the tiny little bits come off it, and it's really annoying, and you don't want bits of wood basically running around your engine. But just wanted to get some of the residual crud that was on there off, just so I could possibly not make the engine too dirty. What am I doing now? Oh, I'm gonna pick it up, and you see that nice pointy spike there? Yeah, that's going to stab me before the day's out, I'm sure, especially when I'm moving the engine around. It's actually a timer for the camshaft, so you know when you've got top dead centre, etc. Bit more WD-40, tiny bit of the sandpaper, and I'm just cleaning up a tiny bit of surface rust that's on the actual mating face for the sump. You can see it there on the, that's a better view of it. So there's a little bit of rust there, so just a little bit of lapping motion, and you can see it all just comes off. Incidentally, the side that's being shown now is where the chain goes, the timing chain. We have a chain that goes from the crankshaft onto the camshaft, which is directly above it. It's a pushrod engine, and so the camshaft is just above the crankshaft. You'll have noticed as well when I put the sump on, I didn't bother with the seal that goes around the actual crankshaft. You can see the groove there in the casting. I have got the seals, but again, it's just a mock-up, so I just wanted to get the engine together and see how it fits. I could have shown you another 50 odd minutes of me cleaning the engine. You can see it in the back there with a plastic bag on, which is how it usually lives in the shed to prevent any dust build-up or anything. And for about 6 years it lived under my desk in my front room, but that's another story. So again, once the very light sanding and we wipe away the deposit, you can see it's fairly clean. And again, now I've obviously got WD-40 all over it, so I ought to really get rid of that. And there's also some dirt and mud in some of the crevices. This will be, it has been painted. Not a very good paint job, it's not complete coverage, looks like it's been sprayed on while the engine's been still assembled. What have I bought now? Oh, it looks like it's, it's carb cleaner. Yep, just getting some carb cleaner on there to try and get rid of some of the dirt more than anything else. But you'll see as it gets sprayed on, you'll see how the dirt rolls off it. Best to do this in a ventilated area as well. That carb cleaner is good stuff. Close your shed door and spray that around for a while, and yeah, you'll be having fun. So make sure your windows and doors are open. So again, just trying to get into those nooks and crannies to get any residual grease, muck, dirt, whatever there is around in there. And there you can see it being spraying the actual dirt off there. And it's looking relatively clean, good enough for an assembly. The original 289 Hypo engines, I believe, had a aluminium timing cover, and I might well go for one of those. It will be slightly lighter, save you a little bit of weight, be a little bit more original as well. But we'll see whether I need it actually. I don't think the weight difference will be that much from cast iron to aluminium. use my carb cleaner up, don't I? Again, I did this with the main block, but I could have shown you another, like I say, 10 minutes of that, but you'd lose the will to live. I'm losing the will to live doing this bloody talk over for this bit of video. How much longer we got left? 9 minutes and 38 seconds of cleaning a front timing cover, and you're watching it. You must be as mad as I am. Oh, there's that little pointer again. Hasn't stabbed me yet, but it will. I'll let you know when it does. So just making sure there's no residual crud anywhere in there. And I think we've got a sneak preview of the bell housing in the top right there. We'll be coming on to that in a moment. And then what I've got to do is put this onto the actual engine block onto the front. It also attaches with a couple of bolts onto the sump as well, but again, just for engine clearance, just to see how near it is to my ear when you actually sit in the driving position. It's a two-seater car, and the carburetors are about 3 or 4 inches away from your ear, I believe, when you're driving, but we'll find that out when I sit in it, if I can get to a point where I can sit in the chassis. That's looking a lot better. So the next thing is the clutch cover plate. Goes between the engine and the bell housing. 2mm stainless steel plate. There's 2 lugs which it just sits on, if I can get it on. There we go. So the clutch cover plate, I've only got stills of this, but that's the mankiest scriber I could find. A bit of permanent marker pen on the actual stainless steel. Scribe around it, make sure it doesn't move, and you end up with this. And then all you need to do is get a hacksaw and a file and spend a whole day filing all the way around and filing out the holes. Great fun. There we are, nearly finished. You see there's a circular hole there for the starter motor. Haven't cut that out yet. Just checking the bolt holes there. They're in the correct location. And finally I've got the bell housing on there now, and just a final fit check. And oh, look out! I've now got 2 bell housings. No, I haven't. It's just highly polished, and you can see I still haven't done the starter motor yet. So now we come to the bell housing. There it is. It's 6-bolt bell housing onto the engine, 4 bolts onto the gearbox. The astute of you will know what type of gearbox I've got for that. Here's the actual ears with metallastic shock absorbers, if you will, on the bottom, which have to locate onto the chassis, which is why I'm putting the engine in. And we've also got 2 cover plates that need to be made for the bottom of the bell housing there. I'll just put it up there and it'll fall off onto my foot. And there's one on the top as well. And here's 2 I made earlier. So again, stills only, I'm afraid, for this. Didn't have a video for this, but 2mm stainless steel. Used a permanent pen, marked it out, marked out the holes. Stainless steel mesh, weighted down, ready to be brazed. There's the other one. That's what it looks like after it's brazed, or silver soldered if you live somewhere else. It's quite a high temperature, and you can see the wetting of the solder just on the edges there. All turned out pretty nicely, and just trial fitting them on there. That's the one on the top there, and it looks pretty good. So back to where we were. There they are, the finished article. I'm now going to put the bottom plate on prior to putting the bell housing on the actual engine. Now, is that the right one? Which one is that? Does it go that way? No. Does it go that way? No. Oh, it's the wrong cover, that's why. Is it that cover? Is it that way? No. Oh, sod's law, yeah. It's always the last way you try. There we go. Weird sized threads went in here, never really resolved that one. They go in, they're very, very small. I'm probably going to drill them out a bit further to maybe, I think, M4 or M5. Again, stainless steel bolts and washers going on. Oh, bell housing on. It did. And the 6 bolts holding it onto the engine. And I think you'll see a spanner at work with his socket wrench. Again, fairly tight, but no need to be solid. There it is. Oh, what's that? 48 IDA original Italian Weber carburetor. And yes, those are T-strainers on the top. The reason I'm just putting it up here is mainly for space, because to be able to move the engine towards the engine bay, I've got to make some more space. So I thought I might as well just put it on the engine and have a nice little parting shot. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.